Alright, every Call of Duty ranked, this should be pretty simple. COD 2 and 3, I'm going to place the same. I'm just going to put them in okay because I only played them like 2 or 3 times. Modern Warfare is good. This is where the list really starts to get interesting, I would say. It's not as good as the next upcoming couple titles because it was just there. It mainly laid the foundation for the rest of the Modern Warfare series. It was still fine. There was a lot of bugs and a lot of game-breaking things that people exploited, but it was still a lot of fun. War at War, it's got to be goated. I mean, it's got to be in the GOAT category. It's War at War. The first Zombies War at War campaign is one of the most infamous, one of the best campaigns. I'll stand by that. One of the great multiplayers, one of the ones I go back to here and there with my buddies. We still play. Like, it can't beat War at War. It's one of the classics. Modern Warfare 2, goated. My personal favorite of the Modern Warfare games. I'm just gonna be honest. Of the originals, anyway. We'll get to the rest of them. But of the originals, Modern Warfare 2 and of Call of Duty, it's one of my favorites. It was a classic. Me and my dad played almost every day when it first dropped together. And me, my dad, my uncles, we all played. It was a great time. Some of the best maps came from Modern Warfare 2, and some of the best gunplay, in my personal opinion, of the series. Is just I can't say much bad about it. Black Ops 1, I'll put in goated. Personally, my favorite campaign. I'm not gonna say it's the best, but my personal favorite, because these two obviously match up in many ways. My personal favorite, love Woods, love Mason, love the characters from Black Ops 1, love the campaign from Black Ops 1, love the zombies from Black Ops 1. I don't think there's a map in Black Ops 1 that I necessarily hated or like strongly disliked. There's a few I didn't really care for, but overall, great game. Zombies, multiplayer, everything great maps. I'm gonna be honest, you're gonna hear this for a little bit longer. Modern Warfare 3, I'm gonna put in good above Modern Warfare. Like I said, Modern Warfare 2 is my personal favorite. Modern Warfare 3, campaign was still great. Multiplayer was still good. It's just, in my personal opinion, my personal experience, it didn't match up to what came before. Gunplay and everything was still solid. It's by no means a bad entry. Obviously, it's in the good category. It's just like a tier lower, personally, than the ones that came before. Black Ops 2, in my opinion, has the best gunplay in the franchise. In my opinion. If the newer games have better gunplay, you're welcome to have that opinion. If others before, you're welcome to have that opinion. In my opinion, it is the most balanced and best gunplay in multiplayer. Campaign, a lot of people's favorite campaign. It's up there at top probably 3 for me personally. Zombies, in my opinion, I prefer Black Ops 2 Zombies over Black Ops 3, personally. I know most people play Black Ops 3 now, and obviously Black Ops 3 has a lot of modding capabilities, but I always preferred Black Ops 2, and I still do. Do I play more Black Ops 3 now? Well, obviously for the reasons I mentioned before. Ghost? I know a lot of people say it's nostalgia, and a lot of people, like, for Advanced Warfare and stuff, people say it now. Oh, they were good games. No, they weren't. They were heavily disliked. They were not great Call of Duties. They were not good games. Don't let nostalgia blind you. For Ghost, I've always held this opinion. I think it was a little bit overhated. I liked the campaign. It was fine. Multiplayer was fine. It was just kind of a fine game, which is why I'm going to put it like top of okay, bottom of good. I think I'll put top of okay. The main thing with Ghost is it followed up these games. That if Ghost had followed up Advanced Warfare, Infinite War, or really any of these games right here that we're about to get into, I think it'd be a much more like Call of Duty. Just timeline-wise, it came out at the wrong time. It's the one game where I'll agree. You know, a lot of people use nostalgia as the reason to say it was probably overhated. But that's just because it followed up some of the best, the golden ages of Call of Duty. Advanced Warfare was bad. It was not a good game. I do not like the game. The campaign was fine. The multiplayer I hated with every fiber of my being. The zombies was interesting. I wouldn't necessarily call it like awful. I would say for the zombies, I can see why people might like Exo Zombies or whatever. I can see it. Do I? No. This is my list, so no. But I could see it. I'll call it interesting, but I would never touch it again. So now going forward to the last great game, in my opinion, or, well, one of the last great games, in my opinion, of the COD franchise. So it's gonna go... For the zombies, I want to put it in GOATed, but I feel like, the lack of a great campaign, and the multiplayer being, in my opinion, not nearly as strong as some of these other games up here. I wasn't a big fan of it personally. I'm not going to call it bad because it wasn't. That would be, that would just be lying. I'm going to put it in good, I think, right here. If I was just ranking zombies alone, it would be in goated next to Black Ops 2. But I feel like like I said, the lack of a strong campaign and a multiplayer that's like, I guess I'll say hit or miss. Like, I can have a lot of fun with the multiplayer, but there's a lot of times where, like, especially when it first released, because I played till about March after it released. Then my stuff got stolen, my copy got stolen, that bitch can go fuck herself. But until that point, it was just kind of hit or miss. It was, like, there would be good runs with the multiplayer, but for the most part, I just didn't really care for it. Infinite Warfare, trash, get out of here. I hated Infinite Warfare if I remember being. It was the first COD since since Modern Warfare 1 that I didn't personally purchase, or that my family didn't purchase, or nothing. I had a friend purchase it, and I played his copy with him. I hate it. I will never purchase this dog shit of a Call of Duty entry. I hated the, like, futuristic part of the space. That I did not care for the more futuristic exo Call of Duty type games. I hated them with every fiber of my being. I was in that crowd. If this was a different franchise and it wasn't, meant to be a Call of Duty game, maybe. If it was literally named anything else, it's kind of like how modern Assassin's Creed games aren't Assassin's Creed games. They just are by name, but they're really not. If Call of Duty was if it was just Infinite Warfare, or if it was a different franchise, then maybe it'd work better. But when you have Call of Duty fans who played the golden ages of COD, you can't really ship them and sell them a futuristic exo game and expect them to like it. Plus, the game just wasn't really that good in my opinion. World War II, can't put it any higher than okay, because on launch, it was not very good. It was filled with microtransactions, still is, but the one thing I'll say with World War II is at least Sledgehammer spent the time to update it, and about 8-9 months after launch, it was in a good state, or really an okay state. It still is. I went back and played it a couple months back. It's alright. You can still find a couple of lobbies in there, but overall, the zombies wasn't very great. The campaign I actually thought was pretty decent. I think it was probably its strongest point at launch. The multiplayer I think is alright now. The gunplay is fine. The maps are kind of whatever. At this point, we were stuck in the 3-lane curse for a lot of maps. So there was not a lot of variety in that regard, but for what it is, I think it was okay. If it had launched in the state it was, we'll say a year after launch, like if it had another year, then perhaps it would be looked at a bit more fondly, but I don't think I could put it any higher than okay, personally. Black Ops 4 is the most forgettable Call of Duty, I think, in the entire franchise. I'm gonna be honest. And that's sad, because I try to remember it, and all I remember is I played it for about 2 months after launch, and a lack of a campaign that again, the lack of the multiplayer being anything special. The zombies, in my opinion, just being convoluted and kind of ass compared to previous Black Ops games. It's just forgettable, which makes it bad. I mean, I'm not going to put it in trash, but it makes it bad. If I can't remember nothing about it, it's one of those years, which in my opinion we've seen once or twice since, where the games just kind of blend together with the previous entry, and or previous entries before, and it's just kind of forgettable. Like, it feels like I'm playing watered down Black Ops 3 in some regards. I think the one thing that helps Black Ops 4 even be remembered is Blackout. I played it a couple times. I wasn't a fan personally, but even that point, I was already done with Battle Royale games for a while. I took a break, and eventually I came back to them, and now I'm just really kind of done with them. I didn't really care for it. It's the reason I never really picked up Warzone. I still haven't to this day played a game of Warzone. 1 or 2. I'm just going to be honest. Those are going to go in the never played. I'm just going to be honest. Black Ops 4 was also the game that made me decide I probably wasn't going to buy the next COD, but I ultimately ended up, I got a little bit of money from spending money from Christmas that year, and I decided to pick it up for Christmas. Modern Warfare 2019, which was a good decision, because I think it's a good game. I think it's a good Call of Duty. The maps, kind of lacking. The 3 lanes were still a curse on a lot of maps. Shipment was there, which was pretty fun. The campaign was solid. Liked the campaign a lot. The multiplayer was still decent. You just had to deal with a lot of maps kind of being whatever, but there's still some good ones. Gunplay was pretty decent, pretty solid in my opinion, and overall it was a solid title. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend it's in the same realm as these top 6 in my opinion, but compared to Modern Warfare 1 and Ghost, the ones around it, I think this is a solid spot for it. You could even argue it's ahead of Modern Warfare or COD 4, I'm gonna leave it right there. I think it's a good spot for it, good safe spot for it. Went ahead and through these and never played. I'm too dedicated at this point to play Warzone. Too dedicated to have never played it. I think it's really funny. But speaking of games that are the opposite of Modern Warfare 2019, in my opinion, Cold War, to me, is another game that I just kind of don't think about and don't really care for. I can't put it any higher than like here. Maybe, I'm not going to say it was bad necessarily, but for my time I spent with it, this is another game I didn't personally purchase, but my cousin who plays every Call of Duty, he purchased it and we played together quite a bit just after launch. But I'm not a fan, really. I mean, it's fine. This is the point where this is a downward slope we've entered here. Hopefully it changes, but my opinion, it's not an entry I'll ever play again. Vanguard, I'm putting in bad. I don't think I've heard anything redeeming about Vanguard, nor have I really played Vanguard and had a great time. Once again, we're in the spot now where I don't buy them. I just wait for my cousin to buy them, then we play them together. I could care less about it. I'm gonna be honest. I've tried to forget it because it just wasn't a good time. There's nothing really that I found redeeming about it. I don't care for its style of zombies. I don't care for anything really about it. It was not a great game. It was pretty bad in my opinion. Modern Warfare 2, I don't know if it's fair to rank Modern Warfare 2. I could go off, other people's opinions and my, not very strong opinion, in which case it would go in okay. But I think I'm going to leave it in never played because I have played it, but I only played it for 2 or 3 times after launch. My feel from it, which I don't feel strong enough to rank it, is it feels like watered down Modern Warfare 2019, and that's where I get okay from, because it just feels like a watered down 2019. Campaign is probably the most memorable part that differentiates the two. Multiplayer, like I said, watered down 2019, and there's nothing else really. It kind of feels like the rest of the game feels like that to me. So it couldn't be any higher than okay if I did rank it. I think I'm just going to leave it in never played though, because I didn't play it enough to justify a strong ranking. That's just my thoughts off what I did play. Infinite Warfare being this high, this list sucks ass. Infinite Warfare being anywhere near good sucks ass. This is bullshit. Warzone 2, yeah, I heard Warzone 2 isn't very great. But half of these games being anywhere towards okay and good is a sin. It's just because nobody wanted to put anything in trash. You guys are pussies. I guess I only put 1 game in trash, but I put 4 games in trash and bad. If you guys want me to, maybe I'll play Warzone 2. Can't really play Warzone 1. But Warzone 2 or Modern Warfare 2 some more. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you're thinking.